Good morning, everybody. We are back. It is the right side of campus. We are live here on a Monday, August 20th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus, getting you ready here for another week in sports, baseball, playoff baseball coming, NFL, college football on its way. We get college football in 5 days. A lot going on this week. How are you, Donnie? Right.
Good, excited, man. Big week this week. Heading out to Las Vegas for the IFBC. We should have some fun out there. A little sun, little fun, little gambling, meeting up, some meet and greets out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this week. It's been a long time coming. Seems like just a short time ago, Jeff, I was flying down to Costa Rica for my very first international football betting conference. And now it's upon us again.
Make sure you have your $20 ready to meet me. I will not be meeting people without the $20 appearance fee. Make sure you have that ready and locked and loaded. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. We start up another week here. Donnie, what was your weekend like? What did you do?
Pretty good. Had a good weekend on the diamond, or a good week overall on the diamond. Enjoyed, the little league festivities. The Phillies just didn't show up because they treated it like a carnival and got their, what, beat down yesterday by Jason Vargas on the mound. So congratulations for the Phillies. But hey, no harm, no foul, I'd like to say, Jeff, because the Atlanta Braves got their tail kicked over the past couple days. And yesterday, the Miami Marlins steamrolled over the Washington Nationals. So not too bad overall.
Now, Donnie, you know what I asked you that question? That question is more tailored to your personal life. What did you do this
sports
weekend?
is my personal life.
Anything
that's
fun?
What I did. I watched. No, not really. Wife and the kid were out down in South Philadelphia at a wedding shower all day, so I had it to myself. Just got to hang out and watch sports and do what we do.
Very good. We will get into the show. We ask you to please like the show. Hit the like button. It's a great way to get the numbers up. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit some kind of button. Also, make sure you retweet the show. Go on Twitter, hit the retweet button. It's a way to get it out there to people that don't see it on a regular basis. How do you like your fantasy football squad? It's okay. I like it. Yes, prices did go up. They were $10, but we figured 20 was a bit more copacetic, so that's what it's going to be. Let's get into the show here. We'll start it off with some headlines here. We started off with this helmet rule. Listen, the NFL is going down a slippery slope here because this helmet rule is pretty pathetic. I mean, it's really brutal. I mean, I think you're starting to see players rip it. You're starting to see everyone really rip it. I'm not really sure what you can do here. I mean, when you have, Donnie, when you teach someone to do something a certain way, and then you just say, okay, well, now you got to do it a different way. Um, it's not going to work. I mean, listen, if they want more points, they should just say that. This is going to make it brutal where I just don't know what adjustment you can make. Richard Sherman came out and said it's impossible to do adjustment wise. It's a headache. It's a problem. It's just further showing us that this game is unwatchable from an NFL standpoint. They can't continue with this rule.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And the fact that they don't actually know how to call it or call it correctly is the more maddening thing. On Saturday, the best thing that ever happened to me as a fan who hates this rule is that nice little prime time 1 p.m. Saturday afternoon, not much going on, where you could watch the Minnesota Vikings and the Jacksonville Jaguars square up, and flags were flying, some of the most ridiculous fouls you will ever see. And you know what the interesting part about it is, Jeff, is I get the whole concussion lawsuit. Look, maybe for 25 years, we were running overboard. We weren't diagnosing it correctly. We wanted to turn our heads because football was growing in a vast proportion. It's a great sport to watch. We don't want to have any interference in that. Then they get the massive payout out there, hundreds of millions of dollars. Yes, we were wrong. Same thing that you see every day on TV. If you're sitting at home, the Johnny Cochran firm still comes up. Do you have mesothelioma? Do you have asbestos, in your house? You can sue this. Do you have a mesh girdle in your abdomen that is wearing out? You can sue somebody. That's going to be paid off. But the problem I have now going forward is I think everybody really knows, Jeff, what they signed up for with the NFL. You can't change the game the way it's played the players know the inherent risks. And if you see the players are upset with the ruling, that might protect them a little bit more than what they're actually doing, but you might prevent them also from making a living, because if you are a safety, yes, you bring the wood, but you bring the wood effectively out there. What's the issue? If I graze your face mask with my helmet, why am I getting a penalty and maybe even an ejection? I remember a couple years ago, Jeff, it's not a couple years ago, let's go about a decade ago, where if you touched the quarterback in the helmet, it didn't matter how hard you hit the quarterback, you could put a finger on the helmet of a quarterback and you got a personal foul, which they end up changing that. I'm hoping the league sees how egregious they are calling this and take it away, or at least take it off the table this year so they can better expel it next year and get out to the league and know exactly what we want to call. Because forget about the gambling part of the actual. It's going to affect the overall gameplay, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of points scored if this continues. I mean, if you're like gambling, you like overs. I mean, it's going to be like a college basketball down at the end of the game where they're just calling fouls, fouls, fouls. A lot of points. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't think any of us like it. I mean, they have to see that from afar, and before the season, make a change here. I just don't think it's possible to really fix anything. When you teach someone to do something a certain way, and then you say, you know what, now you got to change it. I mean, plus there's no, like you said, no consistency. Couple comments from Richard Sherman. There's no make adjustment to the way you tackle, even in perfect form. Tackle the bodies led by the head. The rule is idiotic and should be dismissed immediately. When you watch rugby players tackle, they are still leading by the head. It will be flag football soon.
No,
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, like, and again, the whole concept coming, I saw Eric Weddle getting angry too, saying, look, people that don't actually play the game or haven't played the game are just trying to legislate the game and take it out. You need an advisory board. Isn't that what most people do? Like, when you have a union, Jeff, and you're in the Iron Workers Union or the Cement Union or the Roofing Union down in the city of Philadelphia, if conditions aren't right, Jeff, they have a panel that can go meet with the, construction agents, or they have a panel that meets with the, building codes and violations. They can hash things out and work it out. Like, look, we're not going to go up there and work at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when it's 150 degrees and lay tar wherever it's going to be. All right, let's get a compromise. How about we do that at 7:30 in the morning when it's not so hot outside, so we can leave it and get the other guys in during the hotter parts of the day that can get some shade. What's the problem with working through this? Because if the people that play the game, the coaches don't like it, and the refs don't like it, because now they're back on center stage. The best time you have in Major League Baseball and in the NFL, Jeff, is when you don't notice the refereeing. That means they called a good game. Immediately when they're throwing flags, I'm talking about, Jeff, plays that are like 3rd and 16 where the team got 1 yard, but you graze the helmet and it's an automatic first down. How about scaling it way back, Jeff? How about a 5-yard penalty that's not even an automatic first down? Tacking on, the guy got 3 yards, you hit him in the head, tack on another 5, maybe it's 2nd down and 2 as opposed to 2nd down and 7 at this point. Why is it a 15-yard automatic, first down?
Yeah, the rule's going to be changed. They can't kick one of the season with this rule. It's just not going to happen. Let's move on to we don't talk about IndyCar very often, but tough, scary wreck over the weekend. One of the drivers, Donnie, was treated for injuries to his lower extremities, right arms, and spine. After he's involved in a violent wreck during Sunday's IndyCar race in Allentown. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't follow this. I don't know much about it, but ugly race here. The car basically, lifted and went into the side netting. It was pretty brutal. I mean, listen, these cars are not as you know, they're not as safe as let's say a
Yeah.
NASCAR.
It's
NASCAR's,
open. Yeah.
yeah, they protect you. This is open. There's no real covering really. You're not going to walk away from this, and this really adds to like the danger of doing IndyCar. They go really fast. There's not a lot of protection. This is a guy also, Donnie, that survived a life-threatening injury when a broken part of a car pierced an artery during a 2015 crash at Indy. He would have bled to death if not for the medical team holding the artery together as they raised him from the track to a hospital. He also suffered a concussion a year early. Um, Listen, you couldn't pay me to do this. These guys are obviously tough motherfuckers. Listen, it's great when you win, but Donnie, truth of the matter is you don't win often, and it's pretty dangerous to do this.
Yeah, and there's a reason why I brought this up, because it came at the perfect time in here. Now, you see what the NFL does, right? And now you see open wheel racing. Now, is there going to be a call from the leaders of open wheel racing, IRL,
No.
whoever it may be, that says, you know what? It's really dangerous out here. We're going to have to scale back our speeds to 55 miles an hour or less, or people are
Well,
going to get hurt.
they do that in NASCAR, Donnie. I mean, they'll they add in restrictor plates and stuff like that. But then again, the reason they did that was because people were people were being hurt badly doing all this. But I hear you. I mean, they're not going to do it not the IndyCar. I hear your point. I mean,
Yeah.
in this case, though, I mean,
Yeah, why would one completely overstep their bounds when in the NFL, okay, you get hit in the head, you get concussions, you get some CTE, but this you can legitimately die every single race. And if you roll it over to other sports out there, Jeff, where is the commission and the public outrage for boxing when you repeatedly beat somebody's skull
right.
for 12 rounds and 1,000 punches? I don't see anybody getting upset by that, saying we can't have boxing out here. We're going to have to put on headgear that's like 16 pounds deep and you put on pillow gloves out there. Where's the outrage in that? Why is it just the NFL that has to completely change their sport?
Yeah, same with UFC. I mean, they don't come out and say,
Yes, there you
well,
go.
they're people are going to get CTE in 20 years. You're getting hit in the head. That's the goal when you're a UFC or a boxer. You're supposed to hit the guy as hard as you can,
Knock him out.
to
Make
knock him
him
out.
tap out, which means
Yeah.
knock him out or choke him out where he can't breathe anymore. But that's
Yet
okay.
we're
But
slightly
heaven forbid
worried.
if you graze somebody. Yeah, go ahead.
Yet we're worried about in a league where you have a helmet on, um, where you choose to do it, and it's always been here. Listen, I get it. The league is being knocked down by the CT stuff, the concussion stuff, and there seem to be a responsible for it. But again, I don't know that Donnie. Do you view the NFL as responsible for that?
No, because I feel like
They
you
do.
know
I
what I
mean,
mean? Like
you're
you
just an
know what you're doing. Like when you get into your car to go get your hair cut in downtown Lancaster, you know the inherent risk that even though you're driving the speed limit, minding your own business,
yeah,
somebody
I
might
know.
plow through a red light and drill you. That's the
Sure.
inherent risk.
And the entity is the league. Is they're just there. Like I know we don't like the NFL, but again, I don't think they're responsible for CTE. I mean, uh, the risks when you play football, and you know, there's you got to cut it down. There's outrage with boxing MMA. Where I've never seen it.
Did they change the
But
rules
again,
where you can't punch somebody in the head?
yeah, right.
Can you only give body
Listen,
shots?
you know what I've learned on the internet, Donnie? You could say
Yeah.
everything, and there's always gonna be someone that's gonna have there's gonna always gonna be someone that says, no, no, that's not how it is.
That's the
Listen,
fun.
there's no
I do
outrage.
like
Yeah,
that about the
I've never.
internet, though. Like, I mean, we're out there with answers and excuses. I like to combat stuff like that. That's why we're here. That's why we have a chat box.
What,
You know what I mean? That's
when
fine.
did the when? Who's outraged over the MMA? Seriously, I mean,
Other
I don't.
than bad fights or bad pay-per-view cards. Yeah, like I don't see anybody
Yeah,
saying like, man, that guy got knocked out cold in the ring.
like
What a great fight. Meanwhile, in the NFL, if somebody gets knocked out cold from a hit, you better ban the sport, and I'm not letting my kids play it.
like the outrage is, oh my god, that fight wasn't bloody enough. Oh my god,
Yeah.
there wasn't enough action. That wasn't the fight of the year. I mean, come on. Happy
Gary
Gilmore.
actually brings up a good point there, Jeff. The worst CTE stuff is soccer. Do you know there is an uprising here in soccer, Jeff, that wants to ban you from heading the ball in soccer? Can you imagine that?
No, no, no way. No, I cannot imagine that. No,
Like what would
don't
happen on
ever.
set? What would happen on corner and set pieces, Jeff? Where the guy's raging in with a nasty header for a goal to win the game. You can't do that anymore. Imagine that in soccer, where you can't head the football or ball,
Wouldn't watch
soccer
it
ball.
anymore. You have to. What would you have to do? You can't use your arm. What is just use?
Yeah.
Are you supposed to jump up and then use your legs to somehow contort your body to kick the ball in? Uh,
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore was notorious for going over other people with blades. Hockey players, not. Yeah, you do know that movie wasn't real, right? Oh man,
Damn.
great point. You never really thought about it like that. Do you guys think the NFL is just about money?
Actually, I don't know what they're about anymore because if it was about the money, they would just make everybody sign a waiver and say, look, our fan base loves the bloodiness. They love the big hits. So I don't know what they're about right now. You could say it's about money, but doesn't it sound counterproductive when your fan base is screaming, don't ruin the game, and you just keep on saying, no, we are going to ruin the game? That can't lead to financial stability, can it?
Right. Uh, More football news. Seahawks and Jacoby Brissett. Donnie, why don't you update us on this story?
Yeah, an interesting one popped up, Jeff, where the Seattle Seahawks, which I love talking NFL and some interesting stuff here, said, you know what? We have Russell Wilson's our franchise quarterback. But we would like to have a backup quarterback with some mobility out there and, see what we can do. Because Jacoby Brissett, under tough circumstances, has performed very admirably in the NFL. But it does raise an eyebrow that says, do we know how bad Seattle's offensive line really is that we like to rip for the past couple of years? And how much longer can street ball go on in Seattle where it's jailbreak city on Russell Wilson? Do you think the upper management, Jeff, finally in Seattle goes, look, Russ has been a miracle worker for years, but sooner or later, him getting killed on every play and having to shake 6 and 7 defenders out there, he is going to get hurt. It was eye-opening to see that they would go out and say, we'll give you a second-round pick for a backup quarterback. Does that mean trouble for Russell Wilson, Jeff? No more street ball out there where he might get killed this year?
Well, the offensive line is slightly better, but yeah,
It
I
is.
mean, I think all quarterbacks have to obviously. I mean, we saw it with Carson Wentz. I mean, Carson Wentz needs to, you know, you're running with the football is dangerous now for a quarterback. I mean, you're an open player. I mean, you can get hit as hard as possible. And this is a guy in Wilson who is probably the most vocal and does that the most. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it is, but look, I don't think Russell Wilson has to worry about his job or anything. You got yourself a pretty good offensive line now, or better offensive line. I would hope this doesn't mean the end because he's a great quarterback. Where would you list him, Donnie? Top 7 in the league?
For who? Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, if you pulled some tweets for Russell Wilson for me over the past couple of years, Jeff, I always call him like the $1 billion quarterback because there's no amount of money that he's not worth to Seattle the way he has to play. I love Russell Wilson as a quarterback, especially in Seattle, just because the way he performs. Absolutely, he's up there. Absolutely.
This show makes my morning better. Thanks for the content. Loyal listener, a year this week I joined. Well, thanks for listening, man. We appreciate it. I know you're on here every
Hey.
day. Great work. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for listening to us every day. Brandon Cummings, welcome in.
Mhm.
Lloyd Mass, welcome in. Will you guys have a show while in Vegas? No, we will not. We're not on Friday. Saturday, we're not on. Sunday, we're not ever on. I don't believe we're on Monday either because I got to travel. We'll be back Tuesday. But we'll do, maybe I'll put out some videos while we're out there, maybe, in the casino with Donnie or someone else, or, nothing like we're going to sit there and talk about stuff, but, quick little hitters, sure. You wouldn't mind that, Donnie, putting a bet in. We take a video, see your happy face as you flash us your
No,
ticket.
Jeff, a lot of people seem to be just going live in the middle of the casino or the middle of a restaurant these days. So no,
Yes.
nothing.
That won't be us. We'll let that up. We'll give that and let that up to others. By the way, I've said it before, no cameras. I don't want to be. I don't want them in my face. I know everyone
Please.
wants to film me. I
Yep, we
know I'm
will. You'll be walking
famous and
away.
everything.
We'll get you in some unflattering moves and positions out there, but it'll be fun.
Well,
By the way,
Donnie, why
Brandon
don't you?
Cummings says, Donnie, I bought Mark Lawrence's playbook, do you, but, and Mag, or I bought Mark Lawrence playbook, do you, but, and magazines. I don't know what that means, so I'm trying to read through that for NFL reference. Yes, the only one magazine I buy. And the funny thing is, we don't get paid to promote or sponsor, do anything magazine-wise. But it's funny that me and Jeff always settle on Athlon Sports. And the reason I say that is I don't need a lot of information. You almost need, you head in, Jeff, and you get the Cliff Notes. Like, you want just a quick refresher course on what happened last year. Give me a schedule. Give me the proposed lineups. Because the minute these things go to print in May, a week later, they're pretty much obsolete at this point. I just want a magazine that doesn't filter in too many statistics that I really don't care about. Just give me the layout. How'd they do last year? Did they get some new coaches? What's their starting lineup looking like? How did they draft? Who's the new players they added? Who did they lose? And what's their schedule going to be like for the upcoming year? Athlon Sports in all magazines is perfect. You don't get inundated with information that you don't need. Who's on the practice squad from 7 years ago and how that coach developed the practice squad guy who never actually played. I don't need that. Just give me the roundabout basics, and then we'll head into the season, Jeff. How about you on that?
Yeah, I listen. I've talked to you before about that, Donnie.
Mhm.
I don't think I should need a magnifying glass to find and read stuff. Yeah, look, some of the info there's just way too much. Like Donnie said, I don't need info from 3 years ago and how they did, in the Birmingham Bowl 3 years ago. It doesn't matter to me. No, I actually I have them right here actually, and this is no knock on anyone else, but these are the two magazines that I like. They get the job done. They're easy. Um, I've said before, like with college and with anything, once I read something, it's kind of embedded in my mind and I kind of run with it. But I use that as a reference on maybe a player or some kind of stat or something. Those work for me. But other than that, I don't use anything else. I just use my own like writing stuff down and that kind of thing. Is Blackjack Fletcher going? No, I talked to Blackjack. He will not be out of Vegas. What do you think about Miami Hurricanes football? Um,
Ooh,
I like Miami Hurricanes football. The problem is, John, they're in the same conference as Clemson. I don't think they're going to beat Clemson. I think they're a team that's on the rise. I think Rozier's a guy that, another year, you got to
yeah.
figure he's going to come into his own this year. You got Amon Richards back. You got, some running backs there, Travis Homer. You got
Yep.
a decent tight end. You have a pretty good offense. Defensively, they're very good. And Donnie can get in on this too because he's a big
Linebacker
Miami
City.
fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But I think
No,
you
no,
would
but, yeah, but
agree,
the problem
Donnie.
with I think, Jeff, that we saw last year as well. The one thing that you like about Malik Rozier, Jeff, is he's played before. He's not going to get scared of the big moment. But the problem about being good enough to dominate the big moment, did he have some, flashes last year in the prime time versus Notre Dame? Yes. But when you saw the uptick, when you saw the games you had to have, if you want, look, if you just want one game that gets under my skin more than any other game last year, I know they got waxed by Clemson. I can live with that. Pop on that pit tape around Thanksgiving where Malik Rozier couldn't throw the ball in an ocean against an inferior opponent. That's what he does there. I think we're all waiting for N'Kosi Perry to come along and take the reins, be that electrifying quarterback that can run with his feet and has a pretty good arm out there. He might be a little bit of ways away, but as long as you have a guy with not a lot of high upside, Jeff, how can you get to that next level? It's not like he's Deshaun Watson out there. It's going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to lead us there. If you go into funks where it looks like you can't throw the ball against the barn, it's going to be tough. And I see a lot of that. But again, you can't fault a guy for saying, hey, look, Malik Rozier is going to start versus LSU because you know what Malik Rozier is going to do? Not going to get scared of the moment because he's played in big moments.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you ask yourself what's good. I mean, good would be I think they finish second or third in the conference, and I think they get to a pretty good bowl game. So I think they
Yeah,
win
they
the
win their
the
division. I think they
ACC.
win the division, but you're right. You're going to have to beat Clemson. And I don't know if it's still in Charlotte where it's going to be, was for the past couple years, the ACC championship, but that's not a good look.
Big man, can you get a rap battle going against Ian Cameron? I've got him at
Hmm.
250 minus you. Well, first of all,
Oh,
that's a ridiculous price. First of all, I don't know if many people know this, and I'll tell you this now. Listen, growing up, like from my like 19-year-old to like 26, 25, I mean, I was around a lot of rappers. I mean, my good friend, my almost blood brother to me was a big time rapper. I've been around rappers. I know the game. I've been around those kind of people my entire life. I'm not saying I can rap, but I do know how to put words together, and I can embarrass pretty easily. I do well in Wild and Out, Don. If you've ever seen that show, I do
yes, I
quite
have.
well in that show. I'm pretty good with like punchlines and shit like that. As
Old school
far as
Wild now, Jeff, where you fall in love with
yeah,
like guys like Cat Williams on that show. Yes, I like it.
Afion Crockett, those kind of guys. Yeah,
Yes.
listen, I'm good at that kind of stuff. Could I put together 40 bars? No, probably not. I probably could if I sat down for a while, but that's kind of just I'm around. I've been around that for a while. I mean, I have friends that are rappers, beat makers, DJs, all sorts of stuff. I would do well against Dean Cameron. He's a walking punchline. Maybe I am too, but I don't know that he could put them together like I could. How did your draft go? The draft went fine. I'll have to show my team to you guys maybe later. Let's get in, Donnie. AL East, AL West, I'm sorry, is quite
Yeah.
interesting, and we'll get into that with
Fun.
baseball here.
Mhm.
Water Trotter's correct. Hit the like button. BMOC is now plus 200 or minus 300. Donnie's now plus 200 for the IFBC poker tournament matchup prop. Yeah, I haven't seen those yet. I should be favorite though to win the competition. I don't know why
You
I'm
get some
plus
good money,
7.
Jeff. And the good part about it is you don't get that little thing at the end that says, well, you're an employee for Sportsbook Review, so you can't actually win the cash. Not true, Jeff. You can make a profitable weekend out of this.
Yeah, I know. Donnie, also one other thing on Miami. I've been hearing that LSU football is absolutely a mess right now. I saw this morning that their two of their
Is this you
quarterbacks have
talking or is this a
transferred.
comment out there? Is this you or a commenter?
No, this is good. This is true. You can look it
Okay,
up.
go. Yep, go,
Um,
go, go.
LSU football is an absolute mess right now. Two of their cornerbacks, Justin McMillan and
Hmm.
another quarterback, have transferred out of the
Domestic
program.
violence stuff?
No, they've just transferred out of the program. They had a players-only meeting. I mean, during training camp. This is a messed up program right now. So again, Miami looks like they're going to get a pretty favorable matchup in week 1. There's some talent down at LSU, but this is a messed up team right now. I don't know they have a quarterback. Justin McMillan was the best quarterback on their roster, so losing him is a big, big loss. Donnie, let's get into MLB here, and talk about what has went on over the weekend. And I'll tell you what, we start out with the Phillies and this little league stuff. Um, Listen, I don't have a problem with the little league stuff. I guess you want to give the kids that are up at Williamsport, you want to give them a cool game, and I get it. But Donnie, let me ask you a question. Why every year in little league do we have to have like these like these things where we just keep talking about them? Like, how many goddamn times we got to hear about Todd motherfucking Frazier? Like, we
Yeah,
get
but
it.
it's
He was
cool
in.
though.
No, it
I
isn't.
mean, it is
It's not cool
overkill, but
anymore.
the Little League World
Nobody
Series,
cares.
like to see kids who played in the World Series then become major leaguers, it's pretty cool, man. It's one of the, if you ask Todd Frazier, probably the best, I mean, outside of maybe having a kid or whatever, what he liked the most about his baseball playing career was how cool is it? I mean, the dude was a legend. I remember it shows how old I am, Jeff. In 1998, I'm sitting in a dorm room in football camp, and I'm watching Todd Frazier play as a 12-year-old, and now here he is playing base. Just time flies by quick, but that's a pretty cool thing. I mean, as they say, as he goes back there, he's a legend because everybody knows Todd Frazier from playing for Tom's River East.
Another thing. Okay, now why are we continuing to honor these kid this one kid? Like, he's, what is he? This the kid that said he'd hit dingers. Listen,
Yeah, Big Al, man.
his team's not in anymore. Why are
Not
we
his fault,
why are
Jeff.
we honoring
Dude
kids like
goes
him?
yard. The kid goes
I don't
yard. He is a
care.
legend out there
How
already.
come we didn't hear about Staten Island Little League or the Japanese kid? Why are we honoring this kid? He's not even in the fucking thing anymore.
Yeah, but
It's
Jeff,
cute.
Jeff, respect his hustle because within a few days he's probably going to appear on another sports application out there and get hired. Would that be right?
That's a good one.
Big
But no,
Jeff, Big Al is going to be capping games any minute now as a youngster on a certain application.
all I'm saying is Big Alfred D'Elia. Like, first of all, he's not in it anymore. Why is he still there? Go home, bro. Why is he?
I think they all stay though, Jeff. I think once you make the World Series, because it's like a week and a half, I think you get to stay for all the festivities the entire way through. It's not like, Major League Baseball, I think, where you get bounced in the playoffs, you just go home. I think they actually get to stay and hang out with everybody.
Well, then they should honor the kids that are in it a little bit more. I mean, I didn't even hear anything about the teams that are actually in it. All I heard about was this kid
You don't.
because he
Yeah,
said one thing.
Although, Jeff, I think the guy that's going to get a lot of hype coming through is the kid from Hawaii that's supposed to be really good. He was all over the telecast last night. I haven't seen Hawaii play yet, but they're saying this guy's the real deal out there. So I like when you have some of these kids that just go yard, even the Tired Story. And again, we're from Philadelphia, right, Jeff? Taney Little League going out there with Monet Davis. She got talked up. She was all over the world and could have, worn out her welcome. She comes back. She's still a legend out there. It's pretty cool what some of these kids do, man. That's high pressure environment to put 12-year-olds in, though, man. Crazy.
Yeah, and we actually didn't honor them at all. We honored one kid that's not even in the league anymore. Cool. Good idea. Let's keep doing that. Let's keep honoring kids that aren't even in.
Geniuses, man. Yeah.
Like, why don't we hear more about the kids that are actually still playing?
By the way, Jeff, we just got an email from Deb down at SBR. We have live read-ins, and I always wanted to do this here, Jeff. I thought I could probably do a pretty good job. You know how you go, you like it on WFAN. Who does the 2020 updates on there? Who is it usually? Sweeney Murdy used to do it. Who did it?
Well, I mean, down at WIP, John Johnson, Joe Altamonte, Sue Schilling. All those people.
Give me a little because we have live show reads now. So give me a little jingle of whatever you want, and then I'm going to cut in and do the live read. Welcome to SportsbookReview.com's 2020 Upbreak. This year's International Football Betting Conference, brought to you by Sportsbook Review, is held August 24th to 26th at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. It's a chance to celebrate the new football year with SBR pros, social media followers, SBR staff, and well-known figures from the sports betting and sports media landscape. This weekend is highlighted by a football handicapping conference. If you're not an SBR pro, sure to check out the website and find out the many advantages this program offers. Same for those of you that will not be able to attend. Remember, SBR will stream the conference live. Don't miss it. We will share the links on our show throughout our social media accounts. Stay tuned. This has been Donnie Rightside with your 2020 Sports Update.
Very good.
See?
Good stuff, Donnie.
Right.
You sounded just like Eitan Shan.
Jan Gorham. I was trying to get a little Jan Gorham in there too. We do that later.
Well, you won't be seeing Barbara at another race. He's dead. That was great. I remember hearing that live.
Update, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It was like Sunday night, 1 a.m. Right. So yeah. By the way, we forgot to mention Phillies lost. They were mystified by Jason Vargas.
Yeah, we're trying to pass over that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Somehow they're still in the hunt to win a division.
Amazing.
I don't know how.
Yeah, remember a couple years ago, Jeff? What was it? Not the NL in football. The NFC West, where like an under 500 team was going to the playoffs and everybody's getting upset. Sort of has that feel in the NL East, Jeff. You got 7 games or 6 games back. The Washington Nationals, which are basically out of it, but the Phillies and the Braves, now that they're the clear front runner in the division, nobody really cares about it. Could we see a 500 ball club, Jeff, win the division?
It's very possible. Amazing. When will you be on Joey Diaz's podcast? Like I said, hopefully soon. Donnie, you should be on ESPN.
Yeah,
I don't know if you would even accept.
Give me a little update here. Yeah.
Would you even accept if they have asked you?
I don't know. What's that pay like? Just doing the updates. Could I eventually work it in, Jeff, to a
real job? I don't know.
Yeah.
So excited for IBC. Can't wait to beat. Yeah, Walter, listen, again, make sure you have $20. I will not be doing meets for free. To make sure you bring your 20s. I'm not no handouts, please. Thank you. Pictures will be 30. Thank you. ESPN's way too liberal for Donnie. Settle down.
Yeah.
Why does everything got to be about fucking politics? Can we just fucking talk about sports?
It always gets back to politics. Yes, yeah.
It's bullshit. Let's stop talking about that. They're not fucking too liberal. Cut it the fuck out. Why? Because they have people that talk about nice things once in a while. They're too liberal. Shut up. I hate that. Move on. Sports. We get it. Their programming is not good, but when they put sports on, basketball and stuff, it's not bad. ESPN's overrated. Settle down, Jorge. Settle down. You watch it though, right after we get off the air.
Sports. I will watch it for the sports. I do. I can't like it. As much as you don't like some programming on ESPN, you're going to watch it just because the sports anyway. So there's no way actually to boycott ESPN. If you're a sports fan, how do you boycott ESPN? Like, I'm not watching that Monday Night Football game. Oh, yes, you are.
Cubs offensive offense. Little bit of an alliteration there, Donnie. I like it. They couldn't hit over the weekend, it seemed like. They score 1 run on Sunday. They score 1 run on Saturday. And they score 1 run on Friday. Oh, and they scored 1 run on Thursday. 4 runs in 4 days. Yet they still win 2 of the games. How about that?
Yep.
Not bad.
You talk about setting back, Jeff, like offense for both of these clubs back 100 years. My goodness. And look, now you know me, Jeff. I could just get on a soapbox and get after Joe Madden all day. But look, when you just come to work every day, Jeff, and you pick out of a hat where you guys are going to bat in your order and you just say, go out there and do it. Something to be said about continuity in your lineup. Look, you're always going to have injuries, right? You're going to have guys get days off. But if you come to the ball yard, Jeff, and you look on the wall and you're not sure if you're going to bat 1 or 8th on a day-to-day basis, doesn't that change your mental approach? Like when you're a leadoff hitter, you have that mental approach, right? When you have that, you're batting 3rd or 4th, you have a different mental approach out there, what you need to do. Man, it would be crazy. Imagine you coming every day, Jeff, to SBR or whatever it is, and it's like, hey, Jeff, you're going to go live at 6:41 today. And the next day you come on like, Jeff, we need you live at 1:14. You're like, what is this, man? Let me get my day together and relax and, get my stuff together.
Exactly. You're right about that. But hey, listen, the fact that they still won 2 games and only scored 4 runs the entire weekend, I guess that's a win for them. Indian Cowboy checking in. Indian
Here he is. Yeah,
Cowboy.
look at it.
How about that? Indian Cowboy, a long time SBR guy. I mean, he was on SBR, I think even before me, many years ago. Peter Loshak, he would come on. Hope you're doing well, Indian Cowboy. Appreciate that, man. We got to get Indian Cowboy on sometime. Hey, Indian Cowboy, what's your story? You gonna come on sometime or what? You're
Will
one of
you
the
meet
people we
Indian
would have
Cowboy
on.
in Las Vegas this weekend? And why isn't he at the
Yeah, well,
convention?
yeah, right. I see. What are you doing? What are you up to this weekend? You be my special guest. Uh, let's keep it going here. Rockies get a sweep. How about that? They needed one and they got one. Rockies get a sweep
Yeah.
over the Atlanta Braves, and for NL East teams hanging around like the Phillies, a big weekend. They're rooting for the Rockies, and you look all of a sudden, Donnie, the Braves they need a win here. In the next couple games, got to get back on the horse. 4 straight losses, and all of them were by 2 or more runs, Donnie.
Yeah, good pitching performances by the Colorado Rockies for the most part. You had some bullpen meltdowns there for the Atlanta Braves, but you're at home, man. Look, there's no shame if at home you go 2-2 in a 4-game series. There's no shame in that, but you can't come in, especially the Rockies, Jeff. We know it's hard to play in Colorado, and we like to joke about the Rockies on the road. They don't hit as well, but that's a nice win, a 4-game sweep versus a team that really needed those victories out there. Hey, look. 2 young teams fighting for the division, the Phillies and the Braves. Not that MO and tried and true. We've been here, done that before. Somebody's going to win the division probably a year or two ahead of schedule. And these are the growing pains that you go through when you have a stranglehold on the division. You finally take the division lead out there. You can separate yourself a little bit, and you can't do it. But that's going to take place, at least as an Atlanta Braves fan or Philadelphia Phillies fan, Jeff. We're going to have meaningful baseball going head-to-head in the month of September. So at least we have that to look forward to. But it almost seems like, Jeff, somebody's going to stumble to the finish line as opposed to take it.
By the way, Donnie, one other comment on the ESPN stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I
Yes.
would go there. I think it's a little too buttoned up for me. I'd prefer to be a little bit more ad-libish and kind of say my own thing. So I do kind
More
of agree.
satellite radio type, Jeff?
Yes, correct. I'm more of a uncensored, raw kind of guy.
Jeff, by the way,
Give
I
me
did
like
get I did get a DM last night. Some interesting news on the IFBC. Somebody said they wanted to attend the IFBC, but they had insane clown posse tickets that they were going to use instead. Your thoughts on that one?
I'm gonna leave that one.
What do we do? What are we doing in life, right? What are we doing in life?
Well, I'm not a loss for words on that one, Donnie.
Yeah.
Are they going to the gathering for the Jugalos or whatever?
Yeah, you know what? I heard about that before too. Which, I've always obviously listened to Howard Stern always, all through the years, and that was the always one amazing me. The gathering that they had, that with 10,000 people just in the woods and face painted and all that stuff. So
go out and have some of that Fago soda they drink.
yeah, Fago. There you go. Good call. Good call.
Yeah. No, listen.
Yeah.
We all have our things. I would say my things are a bit more normal, let's say. But hey, listen, some people like that kind of thing. It's not for me, but salud. I guess we all need people in the world that like certain things. I like house music. Some people don't like that. It is what it is. I would like to know who that was, though, Donnie.
Yeah.
But hey, if you were that guy, comment, hit me up on Twitter. I'm curious to know who you are. You can go on FS1 with Skip. I wouldn't mind that. I don't hate Skip Bayless.
Skip.
I used to kind of hate Skip, but I kind of warmed up a bit to him. I don't hate him. I actually saw him, Donnie, on he did one of those sneaker shopping episodes where like he was kind of just like himself, and like he actually wasn't awful. I just kind of put up with him a bit, but I don't hate Skip like some. What else do we have in baseball here? Dodgers bomb San Diego, or not bomb. They beat Seattle. Bomb is a bad word. Kershaw was terrific. And after the walk-off balk, Donnie, Saturday night, which was a pure balk, it is what it is. Dodgers bounce back at a win. Seattle can't afford to lose games, but they are. AL West continues to be interesting, Donnie.
No, it's a great division. It's going to come right down the stretch, and we didn't anticipate this, Jeff. We were thinking about maybe Seattle and Oakland, if they got hot, would maybe take down a wild card. Now these teams are trying to put themselves in the position to win the actual division, which is amazing when you think about it. A huge win yesterday by the Houston Astros with Verlander on the mound to at least seal one of those games and get out of town with a lead intact. I've said it all along, though. I mean, I love what Oakland's doing. It's a lot of fun. You know us, Jeff. We root for Seattle. I just like the way that team is built, and they're trying to hang around and stay in the race. But I think when the cream rises to the top, you're going to get the Houston Astros at the end of the season on top of that division. It would be a monumental collapse and breakdown of talent if the Astros don't win the NL West, or excuse me, the AL West at this point.
I agree. By the way, Donnie, Insane Clown Posse,
Mhm.
also known as ICP, they're being
Yes.
described on Wikipedia as an American hip hop duo. Like, come on, dude. We're really gonna put them into hip hop? No, no. We're not gonna do that. There's absolutely no way that's gonna happen. No. No, they're I don't know what they are. They're not hip hop though. Let's not put them into that, please. What are your thoughts on that, Donnie? Putting them as hip hop.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know much. The only thing I know about them is, they're painting their face, and they've been on Howard Stern. They make me laugh because the content's funny when they come on, but I actually don't really know what they sing or what they're even about. But I would doubt they're on the. I mean, I don't know. I've never heard them on the radio, hip hop or anything, so I'm not sure
Yeah, the
about
fact
that.
that we actually spent a minute or more on this is interesting. I really would like that guy to hit me up though, because I'd have a couple questions for him on that. I think it's kind of fascinating how like people like go to that kind of shit. Would the Cucumbas win the NL East if not Reese went on here? Uh, yes, if they would let Miles pitch with headphones on, yes, maybe. Um, and yes, if the whole team, like if Jamal wouldn't have left the team and G Baby didn't die, yeah, I think they could probably win the NL East. That Jefferson Tibbs kid could really hit the ball far. Yes, I would say yes, RS Jacobs, they would. Let's move on to MLB today, Donnie. And
Mhm.
we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna get your opinion today, Donnie. Not we
Oh,
don't need a lot here, just a little bit.
oh,
Let's have fun. We'll start it off with Texas and Oakland. Obviously, another big series. Every game for Oakland at this point is a meaningful one. They're hosting Texas here. Bartolo Colon against Michael Fires. Oakland laying a big price, 190 ish. Total 8.5. If you want Oakland on the run line, you're gonna have to lay 105. Obviously, Donnie Bartolo coming into this game. Look, he's been his typical self. Not great. Usually gives up 3, 4, 5 runs a game. That's really what he does. Bullpen comes in, they're not particularly good. You have to figure, and you look at the number. I mean, Oakland will probably win this game. Question is, do they get the Cologne? Cologne career, particularly lately, he's been hot and cold against Oakland. What are your thoughts here on Texas and Oakland?
yeah, it's interesting because you want to say Bartolo Colon is just, a meatball at this point, which, you can't argue against that. But he does pitch in one of the more hitter friendly environments, Jeff, when he's pitching at home down in Globe Life. Now he's going to get to change that format a little bit and head out to Oakland, which is more of a pitcher's ballpark. When you look at Mike Fiers, I don't know, reinvigorated might be the greatest word out there. He's had a very nice run, even over the past couple of months, even with the Detroit Tigers pitching. Now coming over to Oakland Athletics, serving up some good stuff there. If we take a look overall at Bartolo Colon, clear, Jeff, look. He's just going to try to be smoke and mirrors out there. Can the A's catch up to Bartolo Colon? Absolutely. Can they try to pick on that bullpen? Sure, but some interesting splits there on the road, Jeff. 4.16 for Texas ERA, intact on the season as a bullpen. But now on the road, Jeff, a 2.61 ERA. It's kind of funny because we always like to just take a dump on that Texas Rangers bullpen. So you might think they can add on late. The one thing I always like is obviously the Oakland Athletics, Jeff. If Fires can get you through to 5 innings, usually that bullpen is going to be carrying you the rest of the way. Both these teams like to hit home runs. But again, we're talking about a pitching environment. And the one key ingredient in this game, which you can use a lot more in football than you can in baseball, do you decompress after that series with the Astros you just have and say, all right, we have the lowly Rangers in town and Cologne's on the mound. Let's just go out there and win this game with ease and not too much, energy into this game, so to speak. Is it look easy for Oakland? Yes, it should. But there is some interesting things that come into this game. Cologne going to go on the road pitching in a pitcher's environment. And how are they going to respond, the Oakland Athletics, after a huge series with the Houston Astros?
Yeah, you know what's interesting, Donnie? You know what this Oakland team reminds me of? And this is kind of I think you'll appreciate this. Do you remember in 2007 when the Phillies made the playoffs? They had a great
First
run.
time
They
around.
came back.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Yep.
came back. They faced the Rockies in the first round. They were flying into that series. They had come back from, I think, 7 down with 17 to go or something.
Yep.
They got
Yep.
to the playoffs, faced the Rockies, and got swept. That's what I
Mhm.
see from Oakland this year. I think they'll get into the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win this division, but they get into the playoffs, and I think they'll fall flat in their face in the first round because they're probably going to play. They probably play Houston again, or whoever it is. Who would they play, Donnie? In the first, they play the playing game, so they'd probably play.
It could. They
They're
could.
not
They
gonna.
can't play in division, so it'll be out of division, right?
Yeah,
I don't like the Yankees
um,
and the Red Sox. If they were both
they'll
in the
play.
wild card, they couldn't play each other. Yeah.
They'll probably play Cleveland. I don't. Or who would be the not Cleveland? Who would be the other wild card?
I
Maybe
mean,
the
who's in the way?
Yankees.
It'd be what the A's, Seattle's in there, the Yankees are in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
think
that's
those are
where
the
I
three
see.
teams that are fighting for it, right? Those three teams.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
not built to win in the playoffs. I mean, winning in the regular season, okay, but they're not built to win in the playoffs. They don't have the necessary things. Could they maybe win a game? Okay, but then I think once they get into like a longer series, they'll get exploited. But I agree. I think that's a good point by you today. Having had to travel, they get a team coming in that's obviously not very good. The question is, are they, will they kind of rest on their laurels a little bit? Houston, Seattle, another big game. These seems like these teams play each other every
Yeah.
night.
Yep.
Houston laying 180 on the road at Seattle, total at 8. Garrett Cole against Felix Hernandez. I mean, Donnie, is it just me or does whenever Garrett Cole pitch, he's just like unbelievable. I mean, it seems like he never gives up any runs. He's just terrific. Let's go quickly here. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, no, real quick notes on that. I mean, this is a huge pitching matchup. I mean, I have King Felix listed as the starter there, who he's supposed to be a bullpen guy, but injuries, I guess, forced him back into the lineup from what I'm looking at here. But you're right. Garrett Cole, what's a blow up game for Garrett Cole, Jeff? 2 games ago versus Seattle, almost 8 innings and 4 earned runs. You know he's going to bring his A game. These bats are going to hit for Houston. It is a pitching environment, but if you're looking at me laying money on King Felix and the Seattle Mariners at this point, that's just not going to take place for me. So to keep it quick, it's Seattle. I mean, look, I'm not laying that number for a road team there, but certainly not going to have any added advantages trying to take a dog with Seattle Mariners, Jeff.
Yeah, and Felix Hernandez got absolutely crushed in his last start. Um, and he was again a bullpen guy, Donnie. They moved into the
Yeah.
bullpen. If you remember, he
Yep.
had to come back.
Didn't you say he had
S-
somebody got injured in the first inning? I think it might have been Paxton. Somebody took a line drive and he had to chug a Red Bull, Jeff, before getting into the game. So that's all you need to know.
sure. St. Louis on the road at the LA Dodgers. Dodgers minus 170, total 8. Manny Machado questionable for this game. Austin Gomber against Alex Wood. Um, two teams pretty evenly matched here, Donnie, as far as records are concerned. Dodgers have, been pretty average in August, 8 and 9. They're just kind of keeping their head above water. Uh, Dodgers, though, struggle against left-handed pitchers. Gomber's been very good. Two good pitchers here. What do you think?
Yeah, and yeah, I actually got a win this year with Gomber on the road versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Got really lucky in that one, but it did pull out. When you look at both of these teams, like Alex Wood, Jeff, look at the last couple of games: 5 innings, 1 earned run; 6 innings, 1 earned run; almost 6 innings, 0; 6 innings, 2. He's the guy that's going to be steady out there on the mound. In these environments, I like to lean on the home team because you get a younger pitcher on the road outside his element. It gets a team that can hit. He might be in for a little bit of trouble. We'll see. You're right, Manny Machado coming back, or will he not be in the lineup? Dodgers are really deep. So if he's not in the lineup, they're going to be able to just tack on and just put another guy in his spot that should be able to do okay. But again, when you're looking at the Dodgers, Jeff, sometimes feast or famine, like you see with the Chicago Cubs, they are built on the long ball. If the long ball is traveling, they will do well, but they are at home, seemingly playing well. Dodgers for me in this one. But again, I probably won't have any involvement in this one.
Big prices are starting to come, Donnie. Big, big
Yeah.
prices. That's going to
Hmm.
be kind of the topic here over the next couple of weeks as the season winds down. Donnie, let's get into the
Yep.
NFL. We continue our trip through the NFL, breaking down each team day to day. Today, it's the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that I think people will wonder what we see from this year. They are at 8.5 wins, which I think is way too high. I don't think they win 8 games or 9 games here. They're 3-1 to win the AFC West, a conference that's getting better, a division's getting better. Obviously, Denver will be better. San Diego or LA Chargers are a Super Bowl contender seemingly every year. Oakland is kind of I guess rebuilding, if you will. They have a new coach, but Kansas City's an interesting team because they have a new quarterback. They move on from Alex Smith. Obviously, your quarterback now, Patrick Mahomes. Look, I've been critical of Mahomes. Look, I'm critical of every Big 12 quarterback. I just wonder how they always translate to the NFL. I don't know how he makes sense in that offense, Donnie. But again, I mean, with Andy Reid there, you obviously have to get with the times. You don't necessarily have, I guess now you do with Sammy Watkins, but Sammy Watkins has major issues with health a lot of the time. Tyreek Hill, a nice player, but he's small, somewhat brittle. If he gets injured, what the hell do you have at receiver? That's really been a talking point over the last couple years with the Chiefs. No real weapons out on the edge. They always have one or two, but they don't ever have a big play receiver. Sometimes they don't even throw to receivers. Kelsey, always a solid tight end. He'll do some good things. Run game not bad. You like Kareem Hunt. He did tail off though, Donnie, towards the end of the season. You wonder if that was just kind of the workload and he was tired or what went on there. Defensively, I think they have some real question marks. This isn't that Marcus Peters team and all those other great pass rushers. They're all a bit older. Some of them are even gone at this point. This is a defense I think has some real question marks. I think they're a 6-7 win team. I think 8.5 is too high. This is a tough division. They're a bit kind of, there's a concern at quarterback. Will Mahomes be able to translate? Defense has some questions. What do you think about Kansas City?
Yeah, you know what, Jeff? I know you're a little bit down on them. I'm a little bit higher, but you're right. When you're going to start a younger quarterback, Jeff, I just want you to answer me this quick question is what can you expect from a young quarterback usually when he gets in there to the NFL time? What can you expect?
I think, the kind of, at least for me, I think you mean in the regular season, I'd probably, a little bit more buttoned up. I mean, let him kind of ease into the process.
Yeah, like more of like, I mean, young quarterback gets in there, you let him make mistakes, right? Because that's the only way he's going to learn.
Sure.
So you're going to see turnovers out of Mahomes. You saw it in the last preseason game where they played against the Atlanta Falcons, right? All you see is the 70-yard bomb, but let's not forget there's some bad passes in there mixed in with an interception that didn't go over all that well. That's what you're going to get. Andy Reid's usually pretty good with younger quarterbacks, reining them in, giving him a playbook they can work with. I like Tyreek Hill. You have a top 3 tight end, obviously a Kelsey at tight end. The defense is all right, but you have a good defensive coordinator, Bob Sutton, that should be able to wrap it up. But, Jeff, there's always buts involved when we talk about, sports gambling and what they have. I just like to roll it back over to the schedule. Let's take a look with a young quarterback, Jeff, hasn't yet cut his teeth in the NFL. You're going to go on the road to play a pretty good Chargers team. Now, is it a tough environment that you're going to play them in? No, but it's still a road game. It's not your home field. Then you go the next week, Jeff, to play the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road with your younger quarterback. Then you know what? You come home and you play San Francisco, who might be greasing the wheels now, and you're going to have to keep up with their offense, but you do get them at home. Then you go to Denver, Jeff, one of the toughest places to play, regardless of team out there with a home field advantage in the Denver Broncos. Then it eases up, Jeff. You get Jacksonville. You get New England. Look, it's all about the NFL sometimes, how you start and how that good feels around the team. Like, hey, man, nice 3-1 start. Let's see what we can do here. That schedule is murderous, and especially, Jeff, for a young quarterback.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think they win a game till October 21st.
Ooh.
I'm going to go and say that. That's a tough fucking schedule there. I mean, seriously. I mean, can you get any tougher? I mean, you got to go on the road for your first 2 games. You have 3 of your first 4 on the road. And 2 of them are in very difficult atmospheres, Denver and Pittsburgh. You got a Jaguar team coming in. Then you got to go to New England. I mean, this is tough. And this is really tough. I mean, luckily you get the Raiders twice and you could get some wins there. But, I mean, Donnie, where do 9 wins come on the schedule? I don't see it. I don't motherfucking see it. I mean,
I have to preface this by saying last year, Jeff, I was down on the Chiefs last year. So I got burned on them. They had a much better season than I actually thought because they were cutting wide receivers left and right. We got a good laugh out of that. But you're right. When you just look at it on its face, just give me what they have and what they're going up against. You're expecting them with 9 wins to contend for that division, have a really good season with a damn score tough schedule, man.
I hate win totals. I think they're pointless as far as betting them, but this is one where I would highly consider betting the under. I mean, this is one where I just don't see 9 wins. I just do not. There are tough games here that I just don't see wins from. I mean, can you beat the Browns and the Cardinals? Yeah, the Raiders maybe. But other than that, it's a tough schedule filled with a lot of roadblocks. We have to go, unfortunately, even though I'm not done talking, but it is what it
You're
is.
done. Damn it. You're done.
Everyone have a great day. Thanks for checking us out here today on the channels. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. I'll be on later with some soccer stuff. Look out for that. Everyone have a great day. Bye bye.